Fortnite Season 3 has an insane new loot pool, so I'm going to rank every single item from ones you should only pick up in the other game to some of the most insanely broken items that Fortnite has ever seen. First up, the heroes and the staples are in pretty much every single season. Let's just put this already into the tier because we don't really need to speak about minis and things. Let's get into it. The good stuff. Now, Fortnite Season 3 has 3 assault rifles, but which one actually the best? The first one is the Spire assault rifle, which is incredibly strong. He had a massive flip side of 50, but he had a slightly slower fire rate than traditional assault rifle. So, it's more like a heavy assault rifle. It doesn't have a scope, and the main downside of this is definitely the fact that it has a really slow pull-out time, being around 600 milliseconds, which is double most assault rifles. However, with a massive flip side, you can basically just continually spam over and over again, and it takes forever before you can actually have to reload. So, you can continually apply pressure and stop other players healing from a distance. The Fury Assault Rifle was already in its chapter, and it is really good. But in other seasons it wasn't really picked up that much because other assault rifles had a scope. Now, that both of the two main assault rifles, the Spire and the Fury, don't have scope. The strength of this gun is a little bit more obvious. It's good at medium range, but it really is actually better in that close range, and just for box fighting and wall replacement. And then there's finally the Deadeye DMR. This is the only one of these three that actually had a scope, but it also had a bullet drop and a travel time, so it's not a hit scan weapon. This is obviously going to be the main storm surge weapon for the season, where players just gonna sit in towers and try to take each other from a long distance. Of course, it does a high amount of damage for a single shot. I think the Spire assault rifle is by far the best. However, both the Spire and the Fury are meta items, and the DMI will be a meta item, but there just aren't that many tournaments where players are going to actually be trading Storm Surge. So I'm just going to put it into strong. Alright, which of the three shotgun is the best? This is also going to be incredibly quick. The Sentinel Pop is incredibly strong with its high structural damage and just good overall body and headshot damage. It's a strong Stample pump shotgun we haven't seen for the last, 2 seasons, getting the Star Wars season. But the other two shotguns are just completely awful. The Twinfire, aka the bolt shotgun, you're only picking that if you're in early game. Same thing with the Outlaw shotgun, it does absolutely no damage, runs out, and you have to reload it all the time. Unsurprisingly, Sentinel Pop is the meta, and the other two getting them straight into the early game only tier. Onto the SMG. Now, the Precision SMG is actually pretty good this season because it's the only hit scan weapon that has a scope. So medium distance you can guarantee some damage. I don't think it's a meta for some search or anything, but it's definitely strong. And I definitely think we see some players carrying this in FNCS. You can't really say the same for the search fire. One time I tried to use this, I nearly died while 50-50, and then I did die the second time with it. So, purely for my own sake, I'm putting this into early game. Moving onto the pistol. And this is a really interesting round because these two weapons are insanely fun. Firstly, we have the Kill Switch revolvers, which are, I think, they might be the most fun Fortnite items of all time. While this, you're in the air. If you're ADS, you go into a slow mode, which allows you to have 100% accuracy while you are ADSing. You can also double jump in the sky, which will allow you to cancel any fall damage. Now, it deals really good damage. However, I don't think it's as good as they say the Spire Assault Rifle because in order to get that 100% accuracy, you do have to be doing slow motion mode in the sky. And in order to do that, you actually have to jump, which means you will be exposed and you're going to take a lot of damage back. It's super fun and it's actually a viable weapon, but it's just going into strong. The next pistol is a hyper burst pistol, and this is one that actually uses mini ammo, and honestly I had a lot of fun messing around with it early. It's worth carrying it, and if you're in trios and the two other players are using medium ammo and you need to use mini ammo, it's actually pretty viable. Now, I do believe that the precision SMG is stronger, but it's actually just a good pistol, so I'm going to put this straight into balance. Now, moving on to the final item. We got 3 exotic that are currently in the meta, and the first one is Unstable Crossfire Shotgun. Now, this is pretty much just a Ghost Sentinel pump shotgun, but it has a strange side effect. When you hit an enemy player, it either gives you a pepper effect or it slows them down and gives them like icy feel. I think it did happen to me once. I did get hit by it, but I not had enough time to test it. This is a gold farm with extra bonuses, so obviously this is going straight into meta. Next, in the Unstable Yoink Shotgun, which is an outlaw gun. Anything reset, this thing is truly awful. The whole gimmick is pull the player towards you and yeah, straight in the early game. And the final exotic is the Unstable Voltage Burst Pistol. Now, this is the same burst pistol as before, however the first and the final shot of the clip shot a shot. So you can use this to rotate yourself. It doesn't send you as far as a normal shockwave, but it is still pretty good and pretty useful. If you're on high, you can just shoot this into low ground and try fire players into storm. Plus, the weapon itself is actually still really strong. So I'm going to put this into the meta as well. Now, onto the specific season of the item. Now, this is where things get insanely broken. Firstly, base boost. Now, the right click of this or the alternative bar is just a high jump, and this is insanely fun. You can do some really cool tricks with this, as you can jump and get peak shots onto players up above. However, the left click shots are base flat. Now this can also be used to rotate yourself. If you jump and shoot at the floor, you can fly high up. You can do this 2 or 3 times depending on the rarity. If you don't jump, it will knock you back. Now, it's kind of similar to like a flint knock, however it just destroys every single build it hits. So there's a lot of insanely broken phasing and strategies that you can do. Whether you die no rule, you put a ramp over your head, you can phase in. If you're just on top, you can just shoot it at the floor and you just fall straight into someone's box. Or if you're just far away from people, you can just spam this at players by rotating in lane and waste all of their material. What's funny about this item is this will be one of the best competitive items. If it just didn't do so much structure damage, it just destroyed every single build, and if it did like 10 to like or 0 structure damage, it will still be worth a carry because the rotations of it are so good and it's just such fun item to use. So I'm not really sure why I picked Overcooked with this so much that it also just destroys everything at the same time. Obviously, it's going into the broken as fuck here. Next, up is Crypto 3, which summons Crypto the doll. Now, I have already died to this in my first game. I managed to die to it, which was quite funny. What have I just died to? I just died to a doll. If you throw the tree down, it will summon Crypto the doll, and he will land on the tile that you throw in. So, if you throw it on top of someone's block, it won't actually break it. But, if you throw it underneath, it destroys however many layers above it's possible to get that tile. So, if you're on low ground in an endgame, you can just throw it down and break every single build above you, and it still knocks every single player down, which is insanely broken, of course. Next is the tracking visor. Now, this has infinite ammo, and every 25 seconds you can send out a beacon which tracks where players are and shows their footsteps of where they have walked previously. Now, again, we had the scan coin and things like this in the previous season, and like it's too pretty much just like a wall hack. Like you can get every 25 seconds for infinite amount of ammo throughout the game. So every fight is just kind of slowing down. They scan me, I wait for the scan to stop before I fight. You kind of slow down the pace because I always know that they can predict what I'm going to do. It's extremely not fun to try and fight against them, which is like actually good because you basically can't make a peek whatsoever. Combine this with one of the booms that we talked about later. And some of the fights this season are very, very unfun. Obviously, this is broken AF. It's just wall hack you can get every 25 seconds. Now, this is a new item that is not insanely broken, and this is the Mist Gout. This is for close range only. These things are, oh my god. As you might be able to see, it's also impossible to see where you're shooting with this because of the projectile. This is straight into the early game. I'm not taking this over anything. Next up, we got new sprites, 2 new sprites actually, this season as well. The first is the dash sprite. Now, when you throw this down, it gives you 3 dashes, which is really, really cool. If you're basically rotating past one of at any point, you can just chuck it down and give yourself 3 dashes, which you can use to phase into a box or just rotate or just cancel for them. However, if you have the kill switch revolvers, you will pretty much always use the dash instead of doing the double jump, which is fine, but it's kind of frustrating that you basically can't have these 2 items together. The item is not really worth carrying, but the side effect is really strong, so it's going into strong. Next up is the Superman Sprite. Now this is actually a funny item. Let's be real. This is a great item, but it does a huge amount of surface damage. You destroy as many bricks and metal builds as possible. You can, but it doesn't really do that much player damage. Now, it's going to be incredibly strong if you have 3 people holding them all at once and spraying, because I'm sure you'll be able to just completely grief a team. But individually, it's not really that worth carrying, especially since it's overheat and the charge runs out quick. Regardless, I can't really say this is the balance because of the structure damage that is going into strong. And the final mobility item is the weak shot grapple, which can be obtained from Robin for 600 gold. Now, that's going to be a difficult to get in competitive, however, in pub, you can basically just land on him, however, just only one that you can like get in the entire game, and it only has 20 users. Now, it can actually grapple from 35 meters away, which is insanely far. And if you combine this with Julius, which I talked about earlier, you can shoot a shot, and as you shoot the shot, cancel the grapple and then switch to Julius. So that's actually how you fly really far though. The sky where you'll be able to continue slow down, speed up again, which is very, very fun. Obviously, this is really, really good for audience, but it's very difficult to actually get a hold of this whatsoever. So I'm just going to put it into strong rather than in the meta. Now, you might think it looks like an insane rotate, but if you're going to carry this, that means you're not going to like carry either a visor or like one of the space boots, which again are so overpowered. And that just makes sense. It's like not really worth it. Okay, let's move on to the medallion. There are 2 this season. The first is the Infernal Defensive Medallion. This allows you to spend a little time, but it also just gives you 50 shield passively over time. Now we hit a lot of these medallions that trap. They are instantly broken. And it's really frustrating to find someone who has this with that. The thing that makes this even better is you don't have to carry meat. You can basically just need to carry a chunk jug or a big or something like that. So you could carry an assault rifle, a shotgun, a baseball, and a visor, and then just one set of you. So you're going to find someone who's even more overpowered because you don't have to wait that second to stop. Anytime you get hit, or you can just stop, wait for your shield to go off, as you're popping on the hill or just holding the wall. So it's insanely stupid item. Again, broken AF. Another easily busted item is the other medallion is Shrouded Striker's Medallion. Now, this can be found by being caught at a refiner, which rather than falling in a first zone like Series 3 item. Now, actually falling in second, so way earlier into the match. This allows you to jump farther, faster, and when you jump, you can cancel all fall damage. It also makes you invisible when you sprint, jump, which is usually useful. For mechanic player trying to do little side jumps, shot. However, it's not a must carry by any means, so this is just going into strong. Finally, onto the boom. And there are four of these booms total. The first one is the Storm Mallet boom. Now this gives you shield while you are in storm, and however much it regenerates depends on whatever hero rank you are. And if you S rank, the highest it also will give you forecast. So you get infinite shield where you could probably just trade storm surge if you're thinking storm, and then it gives you forecast if you're at max level. So yeah, I think it's obviously going into broken AF. Next up is speed healer boost. Now this actually allows you to sprint while you're using healing items, and then it will give you a slap effect for infinite sprint afterwards, which is really cool and it makes running away from people very easy. I'll be completely honest with you. Once you rank S, it will give you the slap effect immediately when using any healing item, sprinting or not really sure. It's going into the meta because it just allows you for better movement, of course. Next is the combat acrobat boost, which basically anytime you do a parkour, you reload your equipment weapon. And how much again depends on your hero rank. And once you're in rank S, it will just reload all your weapons. Now, the most insane thing about this is if you pursuing, you can just sprint, jump on mental, or if you're using the palm shotgun, the sentinel, that is basically because it only has 4 shots in the chamber, you don't have to continually reload as you're sprinting and jumping. You're already going to automatically reload it that, which means you can shot more wall, which does a lot of structural damage. So again, this is insanely strong and obviously the meta. And the final item this season is the Highness Sand Spoon. Now this, I hate this spoon. This spoon is really frustrating to fight again. I'll be honest. So when you get shot, it will show you where the other player is immediately. It will just tag them. Now this is very useful, of course, because when you get shot, it shows you where you're shooting from. Not where you can cover and you can take shots back. But if you are shooting someone from a distance and they have the tool, you immediately see that you are highlighted above your head. So immediately you go, oh, I'm scanned. And when you combine this with the visor, like every single part, you just completely know where the other player is. And that's not very rewarding by any means. It's really difficult to make any sneak play and you continue getting hit over and over again. Unsurprisingly, this will be also a very bad for search trading. So when players are sitting search, trading entire shooting each other and over again, they're just completely going to be able to see where the other player is. This is broken in a category. Thanks for watching the video, please like and subscribe. And of course, if you want to support me even more, use code MIONEXT in a Fortnite item shop. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.